Well, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight for our November foster parent info session. And we're here with our recruitment director, Patricia Lott, and we're excited to have special guest. She's one of our foster care case managers, Rebekah Walker. So tonight we're going to be talking about the role of your foster care case manager that it gets assigned to you once you become a licensed home. So Rebekah, to start us off, can you just tell us what your role is as the foster care case manager?
Yes, of course. Yeah, thank you again for tuning in. So I am one of a team of foster care case managers, and my main priority is to be a big support and kind of a trusting, welcoming, friendly face for our foster kids. So they feel comfortable. They know that the care they're getting is what we at Pathway strive to be the best type of care. And I'm also there to support foster parents in any of the questions they have, understanding the process of how their job works along with the county and how to cultivate a good relationship with a foster child that has trauma in their life and how to interact with them and just kind of um, make a better impact than what they have received in the past.
Yeah, so you're definitely juggling lots of relationships day in, day out.
Yes. Yeah. I always like to kind of say that in a couple of ways. I feel like the middleman between the county and my foster parents, just making sure everyone has all of the pieces of the story communicated so we all can work toward the best outcome for these children.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So what's a typical amount of families on your caseload?
Um, I would say typical for me at least would be anywhere between 3 to 5, maybe 6 families. I'm like counting on my little makeshift desk over here, but it kind of just depends how many children a family is open for. I have a lower caseload of families because those families take in anywhere between 4 to 6 children. And so a lot of my caseloads can be filled up just by a couple homes.
Yeah, yeah. So sibling groups or just families willing to open their homes to multiple children
Mm-hmm.
and keeping your caseload lower allows you to provide quality support to your families.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do appreciate when I have um, a family that has more than one kid in their home because you can kind of knock a lot of birds with one stone, as they would say, is like I can see all of these kids, make sure everyone is seen, they have the services, the interventions that they need to receive, and it kind of makes everything come together. So yeah, I really love homes that offer placements for sibling groups and or just like kind of kids all in the same age range. Like I have one foster home. They have 9 kids total, 6 in foster care, and they're all within the same like 4-year age range. And I don't know how they do it, but like they do really, really well. And it just offers more support, more relationship for those children.
Yeah, yeah. Just a different experience. They connect with kids in a similar age group as their own. And then the foster parents that take in these kids, they know that age group in and out
Mm-hmm.
and know what they need.
Yeah. It's really cool, and it's cool to see the families that have smaller kids in their care because the smaller kids end up catching up really quickly. Say you have a preemie and they have like slow onset to talking. When they're around other kids, they want to talk more and they want to be involved. So I really like seeing some of these little kids expand around other kids and care just like them.
So Pat, we're gonna jump to you. So can we talk a little bit about what the need is for families willing to take on sibling groups, older kids, babies? Anything?
Absolutely. All of the above, all of the above. We definitely, since we've been in pandemic mode, which I can't believe we're going, it's just about the end of the year. We have had an increased need with more referrals coming from the 14 counties that we serve. Many needs needing to be filled with newborns coming into care right from the hospital. We have a need for someone to take sibling groups. There's always still a need for people to take teens and a little bit older children. And then most recently, such a huge need for people to do respite care. And I always like to take a minute to talk about respite care because it is the best of both worlds. It's sort of a little honeymoon phase, we like to say. It's a person or a couple that goes through the training to become a licensed home, and then you just do it part-time. So when someone says, I'm just too busy to take on a full-time placement, I just don't know how this would work with my life, my kids, my family, and all of that, that's what the respite provider would do. It would give the regular foster home a much needed break. And I'll let Rebekah talk about that a little bit. But the fun part about it is the kids are excited to go somewhere. It's like going to visit an auntie or a grandma, or it's just a little time away where maybe you're going to do something different, you're around different people, get to see other kids, or maybe not, maybe see someone else's pets. It just depends, but it's always a good feeling. The kid comes back refreshed, and the family gets a little breather. And so, yeah, respite providers are something we really, really could use. Rebekah, I'll let you jump in a little bit about that because I think it's such a great subject for people to realize that that's an opportunity for them to help in that way.
Oh, yes. In foster care, respite providers are, in a couple of ways, they are some of the backbone of support. When you have tensions rising in a home between kids or parents, or maybe a kid is just like wanting to experience normal things like a sleepover, respite providers can provide, like you said, you can have this atmosphere like you're visiting an aunt or uncle, and instead of it being like this this formal you're going to respite thing, it can be a way to develop relationships and rapport with children so they can be excited to go over to like Auntie Pat's house for respite. I love seeing that respite offers just a second for everyone to just take a deep breath, just even for a weekend. And they're really important to have many respite providers, just because, especially around the holidays, you have families like needing to go out of town or whatever it may be. When you have a lot of families at once needing respite and you only have a short pool of respite homes to pick from, it gets hard to give that support to families when there's not very many respite homes available. So I always like to say, like, if you don't want to commit at the moment, because I do believe once you put your toes in the water, you'll want to be a full-time foster parent. But if you're not ready to make that deep of a commitment, respite providing is a great way to show how you can support, open up your home in as little as a couple of days.
Another thing I always like to talk about with respite that it also provides, you talked about, nurturing the relationship. I think it also teaches our kids to trust a little more. They know they're going to go away, they're going to come back home, their bedroom's going to be there, you're going to be there as the parent. It's just one more enforcing of the trust that needs to happen with our kiddos so much in care. So Oh,
Sorry,
we
I have
hear a little one there.
puppy. I have a puppy that wants its squeaker toy. No, but you're right. You know, there's some anxiety that comes with leaving what you're now comfortable with in a home, and to know that it's okay for me to leave my home and come back, and I'm still going to have, you know, the mom or dad or my like you said, my bedroom to come back to. There doesn't need to be anxiety with leaving a space every time. So you're completely right.
Yeah. So Pat, how does someone go about becoming a respite foster parent?
Well, of course, it starts with me as the recruiter. Give me a call. You can reach out to me. I'm sure Liz will have my information there, but my phone number is 330-818-0444. You call me, we talk a little bit. I can mail you an information packet, and then we would set up an interview. Right now, we are doing those virtually, and then I move you along in the steps to answer every little question that you may have about the process. It's a couple-month process. Right now, with us coming up on Thanksgiving, we are winding down on a training. So our next training will not be until after the holidays, and the exact date is January 14th, which I can't believe it'll be 2021, and let's hope it starts out in a really good way. It will also be virtually, so it'll be via Zoom from your home. Which there is, you know, some perks in that. You're in the comfort of your own home getting trained. And then we move you along. We give you the tools and walk you through each step of the way to become a licensed home. So yeah, I'd love to talk with you more about each step of the way.
Yes. And then once you become a licensed foster family, you get assigned a case manager, who very well could be Rebekah Walker. And she's always great support. So Rebekah, can you talk a little bit about the support that you provide your foster families?
For sure. Yes. I really like to see foster families get connected with the right avenue on the other side of support. So I can help families get support of like mentoring, get them connected with a mentor, get them connected into counseling. I can help with that process. If anyone is looking for, you know, I've tried this and this and this with my kid, and they're still having these tantrums. Like, what else can I do? At Pathway, we also teach TBRI, and it's just a different way of connecting with kids and finding, you know, the right type of connection, as well as punishment, to get them to understand, you know, this is how we do things in this home, and this is how I need you to comply with my rules. And so one thing that I always tell parents is just call me like whenever you need to. Like if it's just to vent, then like it's just to vent. I have foster families that sometimes they just say like, I'm frustrated with this and this and that, and I know that this is just how it is, but like I just need someone to listen, and that's what I'm here for as well. I have a family that anytime this child has a tantrum, I'm like, get me on the phone. It's a little bit, there's a little bit of an embarrassment when you have an outside person from the home telling you like, I know that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You need to shape up a little bit and listen to them. It shows parents that they're not the only ones in this, and that there's someone else behind them to also back them up and enforce the rules that they have. So yeah, I would just say I am I'm all ears all the time.
Yeah, you go above and beyond for sure. And you're part of a team, and that's just really the environment you want to create with your families. And so can you talk a little bit about that, how you stay with the same families even after certain children leave care or leave their homes?
Right. Yeah, so I have all of the same families that I have started off with from when I first got hired. And whenever they get a new child, I just pick up that child on my caseload too, and I will continue to go into their home. So it's nice because not only do I trust the family even more, but they trust me and they trust just the help with Pathway in general, that we have their support. And if there's something that we're able to do, we will try to help you. So I love staying with my same families. It gets kind of funny sometimes because you see different personalities, you know, the longer you know someone. I've seen people like will say, oh, I just made this dinner. What, do you want to try it? And when I would first start, I'd be like, no, thanks. And now they're basically like spoon feeding me. And so it's nice to have a genuine relationship with some of my families, because they just know that I'm not here to criticize. I'm here to help and listen.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And it doesn't make it so formal. Like when I come over, like I don't, I'm sorry, it's that little. But when I come over, like, I don't want anyone to be like, all right, like everyone be on their best behavior, straighten up. Like Rebekah's over here, like everyone sit at the table. I want you to show me what your everyday life is like, run around the house, like do whatever you got to do. And I'm just here to meet you where you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So over these last few months, how have you had to kind of transition and readjust all of your responsibilities?
Well, I have this nice coworker right here. All of my responsibilities have all been shifted at home because of this pandemic. And it's nice because, you know, for that example, like I can train this new puppy, but at the same time, I'm so sorry.
This is a reality show, everybody.
It is. Well, okay. Well, that's another reality, is that working from home, I do live with roommates, just because I'm still a young adult and I don't have my own home. So my office is my bedroom. But at the same time, it's just another connecting point for me, really, with my families. Like, we're all working outside of or not normal, but now kind of normal life. And like I said, I'm very relational, and it just offers me to be more relational with my families, and I can be really flexible with that too.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I feel like that was just kind of running on.
That was good. And can you share any stories over the last few months of a family that's really stepped up and just that you've seen an example of just being really great foster parents?
Wow. That's hard to narrow down like just one family, because truthfully, all of my families have stepped up. They were already great before the pandemic, but now, like, I've seen parents just kind of morph into different roles as kids are working from home doing schoolwork. I've had parents become teachers almost. They've had to take a little bit more responsibility and accountability. And so honestly, all of my families have done really great. If I had to pick one, if anyone's familiar with Christine and Eric Graderchuk, they are a newer family with Pathway, but how long has it been? They just became licensed at the beginning before quarantine happened. No, I'm sorry. They became licensed last summer. But quickly they just jumped right in. They are totally open to offer their home to whoever needs it, as long as they have the room. But they're just ready to take on a challenge. And I love that about them, is that, you know, their age range of what kind of kids they take in is anywhere between newborn to teenager. Like, they do so well. And they've been one of the families that have really helped make my job easier, because they keep me informed with all the changes that's going on in all the kids' lives, whether that's like court changes, anything with the county workers, how they're interacting with their visits, because now they are seeing these virtual visits with families, doing transportation. They give me all of my paperwork on like when I ask for it, and like that is such a huge blessing too. So truthfully, all my families are doing great, but the Raider checks they've taken placements just like at the drop of a dime and have really morphed into what we need of them really quickly. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we're about the end of our info session tonight, but hopefully you've learned a little bit more about what your relationship with your case manager looks like as the foster family. And like Rebekah said, just keep your case manager informed, try to keep up with your paperwork and training, and just be flexible. I mean, we're all dealing with change, but foster parents especially just need that ability to adjust and just to provide stability for the kids in their homes. So before we go, Pat's gonna tell you a little bit about our next info session, which will be on Tuesday, December 15th.
Yes, that will be right before the holidays. So we're going to offer a door prize. So if you'd like to, whenever you're watching this, if you could try to, check that date off. One of the rules will be you will have to watch the info session live to participate in the drawing. And what I will probably do is have the participants' names written down, and then we'll randomly just pick a name, and we will have some sort of good door prize to go with the start of the holidays. So I hope to see you all then. Please feel free to share this video. We kind of have done a little series along the way. Liz has helped me. We've had different guests on the past few months. Sometimes we're talking about the training piece. Sometimes we are talking about getting your home licensed. So, there's like some different topics that you can just browse back on our Facebook page to see different subjects that may pertain to you. But thanks for joining us. And remember, the next class does start January 14th. And I look forward to hearing from you.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.